that it is saying that ghetto, like you say, set up by a certain, like you say, it changed. Things weren't always like this is what I'm saying. We had to recreate our own definitions as a people.
It's honestly, in a sense, like the word ghetto, it's gotten close to the mentality of like the N-word. Like it's something that's kind of an accepted thing throughout the black community, but it's offensive. Like, and especially like somebody who doesn't live it, somebody from a better place says ghetto. It's like this offensive word now. But you know, it's not like
labels you, as you say, by definition, to be in this certain character around a certain type of lifestyle. You feel what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying. We have to address this situation.
Like, I mean, this may be terribly crazy for me, but if you hear somebody say some shit went down in the Mill Hill, what kind of people you thinking about?
The Mill Hill.
When I hear Mill Hill, I generally think of the poor white side of town, and when I hear ghetto, I think of the poor black side of town. And those terms mean nothing of that. So why is that? Like, why is that in my fucking head? Like, why is that part of popular thought?
Because we're dealing with psychology.
But to an extent, like I feel like we shouldn't censor words, and we shouldn't, like I say, N-word obviously is completely just like an offensive thing. But like I say, ghetto is a real word. It's not meant. I can see how it is offensive, but it was created. It's a real thing, and until you address it as what it really is,
exactly.
You know, how do you
what are you really doing
when you've changed it? Like, it's become something else, and it shouldn't. It needs to go back to the original definition.
Exactly.
And then you can like bring it the fuck down.
But like you're saying, this is psychology. We don't understand the language that we speak. You know what I'm saying? When we don't understand. So this is what I'm saying. Like you just said, we are trying to change words, but their definition is not changing. Just like what I'm saying, if I say I'm black and I'm proud, what is that? If I say that, when I get shot in the street by a police officer, it's legally done. That's what I'm saying. And I'm mistaking something that is defined, that you can find anywhere in the universe, within the description of its color maybe. But when you're talking about nationality and race, and how the definition of it, what it means, regardless of how it make you feel, and what we want to say that it, what does it literally mean in law? You feel what I'm saying? And what is the definition and the status of that? When we allow that to exist, when we accept that, when we have that in our psychology of that, who I may be as a person. You feel what I'm saying?
I think a lot of that is too. Like, I think a lot of it is figuring out who the fuck we are individually too.
But we're all one person. So when I'm speaking of that, I'm speaking of you.
Yeah, I mean,
you understand what I'm saying?
We have become the weirdest damn society as far as like just. We get offended by the weirdest shit, but then don't get offended by some shit that you would think would just be completely fucking offensive. We're
not thinking loud.
We group together for certain causes, but then we like totally fall apart on certain causes. Like we're complete wishy-washy.
We get psychologically put together.
As far as like words changing too, the reason that we as humans can have complex thought versus, you know, like dogs and the animals that think. They know, like, I did that shit, it hurt, I gotta do it again. But that's real simple shit. Like us, like the whole reasoning and figuring shit out and where we've got to is that we have a language-based thought. Like because we can speak and we have a language, because when you think, you're just talking to yourself. That's all you're really doing. So it goes to show that, like, if you have a very small vocabulary, like if you know only 2 words you know are good and bad, then like when you weigh something out, it's gonna be like, should I do this? Well, it's exactly. Bad. If you know more words, like, well, it's all right, that's good. Well, this could add. Like now you're adding in other, so deeper thoughts. So the more you know, the better. But when you're using words totally out of context and you're looking at them completely wrong, that's not just changing your vocabulary; it's changing your whole entire fucking thought process.
Exactly.
You know, it's changing the way you think about things and analyze things.
So does that not shift your whole reality now?
And like I say, and god damn, the last people I want to fucking take out forever is cops. Like I don't sound like rude to like a whole entire group of people, and I don't like categorizing people, but cops, fuck
I get exactly
like,
what you're saying.
And it's the kind of the same thing as people say, well, I know a good cop. Well, honestly, every cop out there has got one person that's gonna vouch for him, because they're gonna let their family off, their friends off, you know, like they're gonna have one buddy that's like, no, he's a good guy, he loves me, yeah, and he's a dick to everybody else besides you, okay, and it's the whole purpose of it being a power trip, and the cops don't stand up for it. Like, you don't see any, like, I've actually saw interviews with like ex-cops and stuff, and they're like, yeah, a lot of cops are bothered by this shit because it gives it all a bad name and all this, and we want to do something about it, but, you know, we work for the public, and it's like this, and we're in the public eye, like, we can't speak out about that shit. You speak out about it, your job's gone. And I'm like, well, fuck you, like, this is life here, you know, like, I think that takes it to a different standard. Like, when Hitler starts wiping out the Jews, like, you don't go, well, I really hate to fucking lose my job. I got benefits, like, I'm making a good $10 an hour now, risking my life every day. I don't know. I can get it. It's like, fuck you. Like, people are dying. Stop. Say something. Like, whatever. If enough people speak, they can't, let's, like, fire every damn cop in the damn U.S. Okay, so since Ferguson, since August 2014, there's been over 250, I believe, unarmed shootings of people. Like, anytime the cops are involved, they're an innocent person to an extent, because you're not guilty until proven, or you're not.
Why were they just in game?
You're innocent until proven guilty. You're only proven guilty in court. So when the cops are there, you're still not in court yet. That's like the beginning of the process. So at that point, you're innocent. Yeah, and like unarmed people, and it's predominantly black. I will say that, but it's also a lot of Hispanic people. It's white people. It's young people. It's old people. It's kids.
Now let's go back to that. Man, you heard what you just said.
It's
black, white, Hispanic people. We have to have this conversation
in that order too, because you know, like, racism falls in that damn order, and that's like the order that directly represents.
We really think we are these things, and we not understanding that. When you watch Law and Order, they doing the same thing every day in these courtrooms. They're acting. It's everything is assumed until you prove it. You stand on your square and you prove it different. You feel what I'm saying? So we want to get back into this Venus, the greatest Eastern elongation.
Yeah,
and what that's dealing with is the time today. Today is June the 6th, 2015. And Venus is at a 45-degree angle of the sun, which means, okay, you have the ideology and the psychology from Elijah Muhammad that says every man is represented as a moon and the sun, meaning the woman is the moon and the man is the sun. So as we understand that astrology affects us with because everything is electromagnetic in the universe, the planets are electromagnetic. The sun is electromagnetic. Our bodies are electromagnetic. Everything around the trees are electromagnetic. The animals are electromagnetic. Anything that has a spirit or a soul is electromagnetic. So that means everything around us is affecting us at every second, every millisecond, every point, every time. So right now, if it says Venus is at a 45-degree angle of the sun, that means the woman is following the man. It's time for the man to stand up and be who he's supposed to be. It's no time for confusion and chaos. You understand what I'm saying? Venus is at a 45-degree angle eastern of the sun. And I'm sure all my Eastern stars and Masons can understand what the Eastern star means and how it relates to our set and the ancient Kemetic Egyptology. And Mercury is also retrograde, so I'm pretty sure there are a lot of confusion in relationships. And we have to start getting back into this knowledge of the heavens, because there's above, so below. And what trickles in the spirit trickles down into the physical. So whatever you see in the sky is manifesting in yourself. So this is what we're seeing going on is Mercury is in retrograde. Mercury represents communication, but it is going backwards. That's what the retrograde represents. So it is a lot of confusion, I'm sure, in relationships. I'm having confusion in my relationship. Any type of relationship, even a relationship at your job, maybe with your boss. You also have Saturn.
Relationships are confusing.
All the time. And what we
as you see, this room was, this is actually in my ex-girlfriend's room. That was part of the whole podcast room. It was like, well, not only do I need a room to do this in, But now I have this extra room that somebody just moved out of, and you got to do something with it because holy shit, you can't like. That'll drive you crazy. Oh yeah, let's have somebody leave with like a Dear John note, and then you got to stare at their empty room every day. So yeah, plus I like painting. It's kind of soothing, so I painted a little bit halfway because I'm lazy as well. Yeah, I made this little room, but no, like what I tell you, as far as the really and us moving with nature just in general, because I mean, holy shit, like there's so much out there.
It's time to be in tune, man.
Genesis from the Bible. It actually Genesis it's been rewritten several times. It's an older story than the Bible. It was added in. And originally Genesis is okay, and I to show it too. The way religion always is, generally, whenever a new religion, especially when there's like a war and like you kill out people, like I mean, back in the days, like shit changed. Like when you kill people, you wiped out a kingdom, like a whole thought process, a language, you wiped it out. And the few survivors learned your shit, and we went on. Like that was the way, like shit worked. Yeah, so a lot of stuff was forgotten, a lot of stuff was changed, and a lot of stuff merged and all. But the Genesis story's been around for a while, and what it's supposed to symbolize is, and the point I was making was, in religion, when you create a new religion, generally the god of the religion previous becomes the bad person in the religion.
Exactly.
So Genesis actually
so one man's god is another man's devil.
Yeah, Genesis developed from it's like almost like moving forward in a weird sense, but like Genesis, the prior religion worshipped snakes, so that's why there was a snake particularly, because it never says the snake is like Satan or anything. It never actually specifically names it as Lucifer. We figure people who read the Bible assume that is at least a representation or something of Lucifer, but it never actually.
Snake.
It's a snake. It's just basically evil, and he's trying to trick it. But more importantly, the story supposedly is that, okay, we used to travel. We didn't like settle and shit. We were like, we hunted and gathered. Like we went after herds, and we traveled in tribes and shit like that. And we had close-knit communities, and when you live like that, you can't pollute. You can't overpopulate. You have a stronger sense of society. You're not clear-cutting forests. You're not building neighborhoods. You're not mass producing corn and cows that eat stuff that's not supposed to eat, and global warming, and you don't have the problems we have today. But here's the thing: the fruit of knowledge is actually representative of the knowledge of settling, basically. Because you got to think, when we're hunting and gathering, you're traveling. You're like, you may get this, you may get that. Your diet's kind of doing this and all. Once we settle, well, you can just breed your own animals. Like, you don't have to go track them down all the time. Like, you've got these animals that are like a steady supply. You're breeding them. Like, you constantly have the meat you need. You don't have to travel for it anymore. We start getting lazier. We start growing our own vegetables. We start overpopulating to the point where now, like, agriculture, like everything we eat got shit in it. Like, it's got chemicals in it. It's got stuff in it. Like, when you trace back cancer, when you trace back all the like mental disorder and crap we have, it all comes back to like the onset of agriculture. And basically, in a sense, like, that's where we fucked up. But see, that's what they were doing when they got the fruit of knowledge. They were learning the knowledge of settling, which in a sense is ungodly, because you're basically becoming your own little mini god. You're like, well, I don't need to travel this whole fucking world. I can have my own crops right here and my own shit right here. I can build a greenhouse. I can grow them in the winter. I don't gotta worry about not having shit in the winter. Like, I'm God now. I control how the world's growing shit and how animals are reproducing. You know, I got my own shit. Like, I don't gotta do all this stuff anymore. And I think that was a big downfall for us, honestly. Like, I'm not a real religious person, but that story particularly, I think it symbolizes something. Like, that's where we fucked up. But just like it says, once you leave the Garden of Eden, which Garden of Eden technically being hunting and gathering, our old way of doing things, once you leave it, you can't go back. And we can't, because we just up and like leave our houses now and be like, fuck it, we're going back to hunting and gathering. We're just going to get back into tribes, and we're going to travel, and we're not going to settle in houses anymore. We're going to live in like,
it's a convenient state of mind.
We're fucked now. We're never going to go back, right? You like gas. How about that shit? Gas is a necessity. A lot of people, most of America.
Yeah, exactly.
I ride a bike everywhere, so it's not to me.
Exactly.
But it's so weird when I hear people go like, I don't
to.
have gas money. Oh my God. Like they put that up before food or something like, I don't have gas money. I'm like, I ride a bike everywhere. Like, do you realize that I look at gas money as like an extreme luxury, and you look at it like with food and rent. Like, fuck that. Like, you can walk somewhere. A lot of people walk fucking places. But yeah, I think nature, in a sense, like, that's what I'm saying. That's where we fucked up. We quit rolling with nature. We started working against it. We started trying to control it, more or less. We like fucking humans are. We can't just roll with something. Fuck no. We got to be in charge.
Exactly, but what we have to get into the state of mind is the oneness. The oneness, the unity,
oh God, yeah.
the love, the peace. We also have to disown ourselves from everything capitalist, everything corporation. I don't know what they finna do when this election come up. My thing is for everybody not to vote. I don't know who y'all want to vote for, you know. But my thing is, it's
fucking Walker Block is still running. I swear to God, I will look for
it says in the Constitution that the people are the government. It says in the Constitution that if the government doesn't do as the people wills, that the people shall overthrow the government. We are in these point of times.
You're specifically saying that it says in the Constitution.
Yes.
We're both fully aware that that's total bullshit now. We are not representative of shit.
Exactly. And that's why they do what they do. That's what I'm saying. We have to become a one conscious mind. And we got to stop playing these black and white games and all these titles when they don't really even represent them.
But see, I think to an extent too, it's what the fuck it is as long as you have some form of lower class where you can say, this is where all the crimes are going on, this is where all the bad shit is on. Then every other class right above them feels better about themselves. They're like, oh well, as long as the police are handling that shit over there, we're not. Well, you know what happens when the bottom class runs out?
So guess what, man?
The second class drops to the bottom.
Guess what I checked?
Starts all over.
Guess what I checked?
The cops are going after the people who they think who have the least voice. That's what the fuck it is. They're not targeting. Honestly, it's not a race thing with cops. With cops, it's just a fucking power trip. The only thing that they're targeting Hispanics and blacks and minorities is because it's easy. That's all it's doing. If it was easy to do white people, they would do fucking white people. It's whoever it is.
But why?
And that's what people need to understand, because as soon as the easy is gone, or the easy takes up for itself, or whatever, they're just gonna move to another fucking.
But see, that's why I check white, because white is the status and the property that they are there to protect.
White fucked it up. I'm gonna tell you.
You understand what I'm saying? I check white. I'm not black. What is black? Black is an adjective. So if I'm a noun, why am I claiming to be an adjective that has no claim to no nationality, people, or landmass? You feel what I'm saying? That's what we have to deal with. Even when you say you white, what are you really saying? People are European, people are Kemetic, people are Asiatic, people are Moors. You feel what I'm saying? These are titles that you can attach to a landmass. You feel what I'm saying?
I think, like I was saying with the hunting and gathering, a big part of that is we definitely moved in tribes and we depended on each other more. You know, it wasn't like, oh, I'm a badass, I can catch football, I can sing, or I can do this or something. I make billions of dollars a year and everybody else can go fuck yourself, or I got a company that runs the world and you go fuck yourself up. Like, we all just kind of depended on each other and had fucking shit we had to do. But not just to that, but no, where I say white people fucked it up, and this is the damn truth. Look at every fucking minority, look at everybody besides white people. Look at the how much family and friends and extended family matter in keeping those people around and having them in your life and like it's actually a stereotype where like all black people know each other.
Exactly.
But the thing about it is because
I know everybody in Charlotte.
see, you're the damn stereotype, right? but I'm saying, but the point of it is why is that a bad thing, and B, It's because people hold on to extended family. It's the same reason that Spanish people live like 100 to a house. Yeah, because they live with their fucking family. Yeah. Like, it's about being close and family and sharing.
And they try to make you ashamed of that.
That kind of shit. I mean, we've proved it now. We've proved that being happy, less stress, like all these things make your life longer. It's a fucking health thing. Like, you will die if you are a fucking dickhead all the time because you're a fucking unhappy, miserable
asshole. But stress is the main cause to everything.
At an earlier age, it is. Like,
thought rules this whole existent plane. So but
white people's the way of thinking, the way that America is based is fuck family, fuck friends. I need to get to be a head of a company. I need to make a shitload of money, at least 6 figures a year. Because I got to make sure that I wear a suit to work, and my wife is the perfect housewife, and my son goes to a nice college. And when he gets out, hopefully he'll fucking make it because he'll make me look bad if he doesn't. And everything I've worked for will be fucking ruined. And I got a little house with a white picket fence.
Now after all of that,
are scary.
Now after all that, how can man know himself? How can woman know herself? After he done chased all of that. When did he ever have time to figure out himself and what in his place truly in this reality?
He's fucking miserable.
Exactly.
Like, if you look, I mean, seriously, like, look at my dad when he retired, my dad was on like fucking antidepressants. My dad was taking pills to sleep at night. My dad was taking pills to wake up. My dad was taking pills so he wouldn't grab a fucking AK-47 and wipe out half of Walmart for no reason. Like, my dad was stressed.
Because we feel like we have to keep that picket.
He retired and quit taking all of it.
You feel what I'm
saying? Fuck, it was my job that killed me. He hated his fucking job.
It's time to be ready to build our own shit.
But see, that's where they fucked it up. In the past, it was all about money.
Yeah.
Position. Looking good, being that family, and you see it when you look at 50s and 60s fucking sitcoms and shit.
Exactly.
It's like a whole stand. Like, we gotta look like this and we gotta do this. But what they did was they destroyed the family. They destroyed socialness as a whole. They destroyed the fuck out of the environment. Well, they just ran that in the fucking ground.
And they destroyed the family because families control the world.
My generation's born really from like the 80s up, especially, like, they're fucked. Like, because now we have to think about that shit. We gotta think about, okay, well, working 70 hours a fucking week is not sustainable for life. You will die.
Exactly.
I need time for my family. Like, now time is more important than money in a lot of instances. And also environment matters.
Exactly.
I don't want to work for a company that's fucking shit up. And like, people have morals and they like make decisions on that. Whereas before it was like, well, I work at a company that kills, billions and billions of people, but it's my paycheck, and if I quit, I can't pay the mortgage, so I'm going to stay here. People will stop now. They will be like, no, fuck this, and that company will lose all its employees, and they will go out of business. Like, things happen.
Yeah.
Shit gets exposed on stuff. We are more aware of fucking cops shooting unarmed fucking minorities now than we ever have been. And right now, it is at an all-time low. It is actually 60% lower than it was like in the 60s, where it's like it drops at 60-something% lower. But now we realize it the most. Why? Because it's all we see it now. Yeah, it was going on in the past, but you didn't hear about it. So fuck it, who worries about it?
Because they just keep playing these title games, just like minorities. They are able to say minorities because I call myself black. He calls himself Hispanic. He calls himself Puerto Rican. He calls himself Chinese. He calls himself Asian. All that to me is one people. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know who the fuck come up with the whole.
When you chop them up, now you get a percentage of this, a percentage of that, and you become a minority. To where white is you feel what I'm saying? The majority. And we know that's not true. But this is a psychological game to be played to divide and conquer. Simple. Once you divide the oneness and you keep everything away from the oneness, you keep it chaotic. You feel what I'm saying? And only those in the know that really know, understand how to turn that wheel.
If I completely fuck this recording up because of this, then that's just my fault. But I've got to, in reference, I gotta get this thing. This is like, I've referenced this so many times. People who like follow my feed are probably getting like actually fucking tired of it. But no, like this to me, this explains everything. I don't know. Some people may not get it. Okay. 1950s was when they first noticed it. But this guy, he's a
1950.
It was written by Pastor Martin Nyamlor. I cannot pronounce that. Nyamlor. Okay, like it's got symbols over letters that I've never even fucking seen before. But anyway, yeah, it's a poem and it's called First They Came, or well, it really has no title, but people refer to it as that. But this is the point, and this is about Nazi Germany. And it says, first they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. And that's fucking it right there. Just replace some fucking words in there. If you know, if you sit by and you say, oh well, you know, I mean, it sucks that they're killing, you know, tons of black people every day for no reason, and there's videos of them just like I watched horror movies my whole life, and that fucking North Charleston video shook me up more than anything I've ever seen. Like, that motherfucker did not give a fuck. Like, never once in his face was like, oh shit, I was just angry and I shot somebody, or for whatever. Like, it was just like pop, 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 pop. Another one. Like, I guarantee that was not his first time. I guarantee that's not his fucking first time.
That man was looking savage as possible.
He knew how to fucking do it. He fucking